welcome back to Sage and the Rage. We've been gone for a while, busy, life got crazy, but we're back to putting out content on a normal basis, so for everybody who hung around, thank you so much for your patience.
We're down to do another top 10 list today.
But this time, focused around the announcement that came out, World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth is going to be released August 14th, 2018. So in just a few months, we'll have a lot of things to put behind us.
Yeah, so the idea behind this list is what we want to see leave from Legion. We both love Legion, but it's kind of time to move on.
And there are 10 things here that we've rounded up that we will not miss very much. We might miss a little, but not much.
Just a smidge.
And number 10 kicks off with artifact power tokens. And what I mean by tokens is not just tokens themselves. Yes, those are annoying because you have to open your bags, you have to click on them. Some of them are instant cast. Some of them, if they're blue or purple level artifact power tokens, you have to sit there and fill a bar and go through. And it's a little thing, it's a minor inconvenience, but it doesn't make sense when your green world quest ones are worth more than some of the little blue dinky ones you pick up from mobs, and you have to cast one and not the other. Your bags constantly fill up. You needed to leave bag space to pick artifact power up or just, go empty the mailbox. I can't wait to have a bag that isn't at least half dedicated to storage of AP as a world quest.
Yeah, you're still going to be collecting Azerite as a bit of a replacement, but you're not going to have those annoying little tokens clogging up your bank, your inventory, your mailbox. So that'll be nice, and hopefully the grind isn't quite as bad either.
It looks like there's a lot more of activities to do in Battle for Azeroth for that grind, whereas in Legion, it was kill a raid boss, kill a dungeon, do a Mythic Plus, get the Mythic Plus catch, do the world quest, do the daily reputation 4 quest equals another catch, and it got old.
Well, and with Battle for Azeroth, it seems a little more like Azerite's a bit of an afterthought for what you're doing. You'll get it thrown at you like candy from everything you do, and so you're not really going to go out and hunt for it. You're always going to have some.
Yep, island expeditions, dungeons, warfronts, the usual PvP raids, dungeons, everything. But there's more ways. So less AP tokens, less AP grind, so to say. Number 9 on our list of things that I personally am not going to miss this at all. I'm over it, and that is Felgreen everywhere.
Yeah, kind of sick of the whole demon motif of green fire, green sludge, just Felgreen all over the place.
Green rocks, green warglaives, green burning eye sockets, green armor.
Oh look, there's some black coloring. Oh wait, no, it's covered in green, never mind.
So, I'm ready to see this goodbye, because the aesthetics of a game mean a lot, and the Broken Isles had a lot more than Felgreen. Don't get me wrong, the art team did a beautiful job designing all these different zones. But the major theme going through everything was Felgreen, and I'm ready to not look at it again for a while.
Well, you also have to look at, as the expansion progressed, it got more green. Because, start of an expansion, you had the different zones, you were collecting the keys and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hit the Broken Shore, then you hit Argus, and now you look left, it's green. You look right, it's green. Mm-hmm. That's just all you ended up with by the end.
And if you're a raider, Tomb of Sargeras, green. Argus itself, Antorus, the Burning Throne, green all the way up till the Burning Throne. Then it turns, Sith Lord Jedi red for some reason. But I'm ready to see green go. Another thing on our list here at number 8 is tabletop quests and followers. I'm done. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is something they don't revisit or at least fix. Because Class Order Hall, these tabletop missions were a holdover from the Garrisons.
Mm-hmm.
They touched it up, improved it from Garrisons, but it's still not great.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It is Garrisons 2.0. They did clean it up a little bit, made it a little bit more streamlined. It didn't take, it wasn't quite as much of a pain, and it wasn't as useless as the shipyard.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was just the same thing rehashed. Hopefully, if there is a version 3.0, It's even better than this, and I would love for there just to not be a version. I'm done. Number 7, bloated numbers.
So, yeah, when numbers start hitting millions in, size, they start not meaning anything anymore.
But you stop looking at all the numbers. Like, when I'm in a raid or something like that, I only care about stuff that has a million marker on it. 1.6, 1.7, or 2.2 for those huge critical hits. I'm a demon hunter. Obviously, there are classes that go way higher than that in crits. But anything below the million mark, you just, in your mind, automatically level off and don't care about. And it's harder to track. It visually takes up more space on the screen. It's just distracting in general. It makes it harder to, figure out what is a good thing and what is not a good thing. Like, when you have to sim every single side grade because of all the bloated numbers on the gear, let alone the damage that we do, it becomes a real pain in the butt. Now, don't get me wrong, we're still going to all sim if we're serious players, but it's getting ridiculous. And so we're very excited for the number squish coming up in Battle for Azeroth.
Yeah, that should be good. Numbers will be a little more manageable coming up.
Number 6, speaking of fell green leering its ugly head around, the raid Tomb of Sargeras. I hated this raid. And I only hated this raid because of the lack of mechanical diversity. Now, don't get me wrong, there was diversity in all the bosses. They all had different mechanics. But it seemed like the majority of the bosses all had soak mechanics. Stand here with the tanks, run Harjatan. When you're fighting the lady down below, the whatever, Sea Witch lady, I don't even remember her name anymore. Thank God I forgot. But you're down there and you got to get inside the beams and you got to soak the shot coming at you. When you're fighting the Avatar, you have to soak little spots on the ground. When you're fighting the Maiden of Virtue, you have to soak. And it's just soak mechanic on soak mechanic. When you fight Kill Jaden, it's soak after soak. And the name of the raid was Soaking Mechanics. And they're just annoying. They're not fun when literally half the raid has to do them. Or, heroic and mythic Kill Jaden, like soak or die, along with many of the other mythic bosses. It just was really boring and really repetitive on the soak mechanics. Even the sisters down below, there was a soak mechanic there with one of their shots. There was always soak mechanics. Just non-stop.
Yeah, I think it's about time we move on away from that and into newer, fresher raids.
Well, Antorus is different, but Tomb of Sargeras just really, me personally, I'm sure many other raiders can agree, wore me out on one type of mechanics. As a demon hunter, Netherwalk was a very clicked ability. Number 5, Dollaran.
This city has already been used twice now. We haven't been back to Shatrath or, any of the other big ones. But Dollaran, gotta keep going there. And it's played out. We've been there, we've seen it. It's your old favorite pair of shoes, but it's time to move on.
Your old favorite pair of shoes. That's very accurate. Dollaran was used in Northrend campaign against the Lich King, and then to be back into it again and see some of these familiar NPCs and how they've changed and what they're selling now versus what they sold then. Yada, yada, yada. Upgrades to the town. The rogue class order has secret doors all over. The warlocks are down in the poop chute of the sewers. But in the end, Dollaran has worn out its welcome. I'm done with it. If I have to type to one more person, meet me at Crassus Landing, I'm going to lose my mind. It's ready. It's time to say goodbye to Dollaran. And I'm glad that in Battle for Azeroth, when we interact with Jaina, it's about her hometown, not Dollaran. I'm so looking forward to that. So, number 4. And this is from a lore perspective, the Broken Shore.
Yeah, so the Broken Shore is a bit of a black eye for both sides of the Battle for Azeroth war.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when you lose a war chief and a king and the guy who killed the Lich King, Tyrion Fordring, when you just lose all these big players and all this drama and all this pain for certain characters is still there, it makes you ready to be done with it. From a lore perspective, and just, if you could relate to those characters for a little bit in the lore side of it, something that hurts you, you don't like to go back to it again and again and again. And a lot of these characters have a lot of personal pain, injury, and loss, and identity loss, and then rediscovery down here. But that rediscovery doesn't outweigh the loss. And then for us as characters, a Again, kind of tied to Tomb of Sargeras, which is why this one's up here, number 4. You know, we're tired of doing the quest there. We're tired of being on that island. We started the expansion there. We're stuck doing world quest there. We still do world quest there. It's just, ready to let it go. It's a place of pain for many characters. It's also a pain in the butt for us now. It's time to move on.
I want to see new places. That's just really what this comes down to.
Number 3 is Relics and the Netherlight Crucible. This system can burn in hellfire.
Yeah, the whole RNG mechanics, trying to figure out which path to go down. The choice part seems nice, but there's not really always a choice.
No, because if you get a relic with a crap trait that starts with, and then you reroll it and it has another crap trait, but it's item level 985 thanks to Titan Forging, what do you do with it? You may equip it, maybe, but you gotta go sim that, and nobody wants the bad traits. Like, oh man, my Chaos Strike damage can go up, or I can take less magic damage. Oh boy.
Let me write home to Mom about that one.
And then on top of it, you throw in the Netherlight Crucible, which puts an RNG gambling effect on top of it, in which your second tier you hope is good. And every now and then, yeah, it feels really good when you get the first trait that's awesome, your second tier has an awesome choice, and your third tier has another amazing trait. And it's high item level, and you're like, praise to RN Jesus. But most of the time, it's a disappointment. I can tell you, like, from my character alone, you know, boo-hoo, poor me, but I've been using the same 3 relics for the past 5 months. Because I cannot get an eye level upgrade no matter what, and if I do, it's only 5 up, and it's crappy traits. I'm ready for relics to be gone. I cannot wait. As much as I love my artifact weapon abilities, and the lore around my artifact weapon, I'm ready to be done with relics that make my weapon powerful, and just give me normal weapons again, please.
Yeah, it's time to put the RNG away.
It was fun while it lasted, but the fun has outstayed its welcome. Number 2, along the lines of Relics and the Netherlight Crucible, comes the big old complaint. Tier Armor and Legendaries. I want to start with Legendaries. Back in the day when you got a Legendary item, it made you powerful. It made you stand out, and you had to work your butt off to get it. And it also helped in almost maybe some game-breaking effects. Like in Vanilla, if you had Thunder Fury and you were a warrior tank, you could dive into some 5-man dungeons and really help a group out get to that, strat home run where you're trying to get to, Rivendare to get the mount. But now when you get Legendaries, they're just handed out. Everybody's got like 20, 30, 40, 50 of them sometimes in their bags across multiple tunes. And the game, when it wasn't balanced around Legendaries before, Legendaries were just powerful. The game wasn't balanced around them. Now the game is literally balanced around our Legendaries. Characters and classes are balanced around their Legendaries. Instead of a Legendary being something that boosts you, it's something that actually hinders you, and the game is built around the Legendary. I.e. example, the Demon Hunter, the Ring. I can't remember the name right now. I play Demon Hunter all the time. Anger of the Half-Giants. You can't take it off. You take it off, you lose your Fury Generation. Done. You maybe could replace it with Sephuz for some haste in certain fights, but you just don't take it off. And so the whole game is built around a Legendary. What is the point of Legendary options when you don't really have options?
Yeah, back in the day, Legendaries were legendary. If you got one, you felt like you had this all-powerful relic of the past. Now it's just another piece of gear.
And Sage and I have different opinions on this next part, is the middle ground on Legendaries. I didn't mind it in Warlords of Draenor when you built a Legendary and slowly made it more powerful and put it together. I didn't mind in Mist of Pandaria when everybody got the cape and you went on this big, long quest chain to get it. You still earned it, and it still felt really good, and it was only 1 item slot. Sage has different opinions on that. He kind of feels like it was diminishing returns already then.
Personally, my opinion of it is, I don't mind the building an item throughout the expansion. I don't like that it was legendary. Again, I feel like it diminishes what legendaries are. They're meant to be this one-of-a-kind special item that you might get, but it's not really key to you getting it for your progression.
Yep. Basically, it's the rule. If everybody is a special snowflake, nobody is a special snowflake. And when everybody has legendaries, 1,000,001 of them in their bags, none of them are really legendary.
Exactly. And the other side of that coin is tier sets.
I can't wait for these to be gone. At first I thought I was upset about this announcement, but after I've soaked on it for a while, I'm so done. I hate tier tokens. When we use Master Loot System in our raids, we've got Paladin, Priest, Warlock, Demon Hunter, and half of our raid is Paladin, Priest, Demon Hunters, and Warlocks. And that sucks, because everybody has to wait 1,000,001 turns and 1,000,001 bosses. And half the time, we don't even get those 2 tokens. They're always the Warrior, Shaman, Hunter token. Let alone this. For Demon Hunter, I'm just going to use this as an example. Our first tier set, it was awesome. It gave you 10% increased Fury generation, and it made Chaos Strike hit critical strikes chance up even more. It was great. It didn't matter what version of the Demon Hunter you played, you Fury Gen and you spend it on Chaos Strike. Yes, there might be some variances in between, but whether you were Demon Blades, Chaos Blades, Momentum, or I-Beam spec, or Demonic spec, it didn't matter. It was helpful. Then they gave us tier 20 and they forced all the players that didn't like Blade Dance spec, Chaos Blades, into that because the tier armor completely made us do that, because Blade Dance was everything in that spec. And now in Tier 21, it's I-Beam and Demonic build. Now, I've already made plenty of videos on this and complained about it, but my point is this. When tier armor doesn't just bonus a class in general, but it forces a style of play on somebody who's enjoyed this class, spent all the artifact power they have onto it, it's not a good thing. It causes stress in raids and guilds when the loot is distributed on tier tokens. It causes stress on players that are like, oh, I guess I will switch to another tune this raid because my tier armor is good or bad and I don't want to relearn how to play it. Or you have to completely relearn how to play it. Now, I've been thankful that I've relearned how to play from tier 20 to tier 21 and I'm enjoying it, but I still don't like it. It's not the way I want to play my Demon Hunter. And anytime something like this is introduced where Blizzard gets to say, this is how you do it this raid. No. No, I pay you to play. I don't pay you to tell me how to play. And we can get into a whole bag of crap on all the stuff that Blizzard does where they tell us how to play anyway. But on this one, I'm excited for tier to be gone. Done. Goodbye.
Well, even detached from the class-specific side of tiers, let's look at it just in general, what everyone has to put up with. You have 4 slots of gear that you can't do anything with. Mm-hmm. You may get a better upgrade in a slot, higher item level, but you can't afford to lose your tier bonus.
Nope, because the tier bonus outweighs even 40 item levels.
Yeah, so there's nothing you can do, so you might as well have just gotten, 20 gold.
Well, then you also have to balance the tier pieces that you do wear, those 4 items, locked around which legendaries you're using, which is also locked around the other legendary you're using. So half of the gear that you wear in this current expansion in Legion is item locked. It's not fun. Nothing is exciting when it drops because you're like, well, can't use it.
Yeah, instead of, new things being exciting, it's just disappointment. And I feel it's time Blizzard started moving away from that.
As much as we all love tier's been an integral part of the game since vanilla. I think it's time to try something else. And who knows, it may suck to not have tier. It may be awful. But I'm willing to at least try for one expansion to do something else. So there is everything but number 1. And number 1, I'm just going to play some audio and a video clip for you. Just as a Demon Hunter, and I'm sure those of you who aren't Demon Hunters, I'm sure you've talked to Illidari NPCs. Number 1 is point blank this.
I've sacrificed everything. What have you given?
And that was our list. Let us know what you think down in the comments.
Thanks. Again, as always, hit like, hit subscribe, hit that bell button. We're going to be back every weekend with new material coming up here now that we're in the summer. So thank you so much. Share with a friend. Sage, Rage, we're out.
Peace.